All right, so now click where it says got it, and then you'll be good to go. And I'm going to mute everyone. Okay. So, again, here's the setup, chair, and a sitting chair behind it. And then when you're doing your opening sitting, and this can be just a practice you do regularly, chin down, crown up, align that central channel, and try to relax everything around it, and then breathe in and breathe out naturally. In our Friday class, we take a lot more time with joint mobilization and opening up all the spaces of every single layer of the body, which then allows for this seated meditation to feel easier and more spacious. So a Monday class here for that, we just do a little bit, and then we move into our standing, walking, tilting, leaning, all of that good stuff, right? But just a brief final, maybe 8 breaths here. Chin is down, crown is up, central channel down through the 2 butt bones, sits bones. Nasal breathing in the nose, out the nose or the mouth. A relaxed body is a body that can actually connect to the root or to the ground. Anywhere in our body where we're grabbing and holding, it's like we're holding the sand in us up here, which makes us top heavy and much easier to fall down. Whereas as we relax, that sand goes down to the bottom. My teacher was just using this example. I don't know if you remember those little sort of punching bags that had the sand in the bottom and it was empty at the top, and you'd knock it over, but it would just come right back up. And so that's a great metaphor for what we're doing by softening, relaxing, releasing, is letting that weight, that starch, that sand get through. And in fact, not sitting even in the feet, but out of the body through the ground to the root, which is underneath us, rather than holding it up here and walking around the surface, but always at risk of tipping over. So soften, release. Long, full breath in and out helps with that because it stretches open spaces on inhale. And with exhale, it melts that and allows throughness to the body. Our first joint mobilization exercises. Slide your hands forward, round the back. Gently arching. Slide your hands back, pull the elbows back, lift the chest, look up to the sky, arch the back. 2 more like that. Slide the hands forward, drop the head around. Slide the hands back, elbows pull back. Forward. 1 more. So keep in mind this idea of the starch or the sand in the body, that really we're trying to loosen that up and allow it to move through us. Last one there, pulling back, and then settling to the middle. From the middle, slide left hand forward, right hand pulls back, gentle twist, turn the head to look behind. Then slide the right hand forward, left hand back, rotate, turn shoulders, turn head. And again, so 2 more like that. So here we're heading down the path of that same idea of loosening up where we are consciously and subconsciously, even unconsciously holding, grabbing. So we're just gently winding and unwinding, wringing out these spaces. Coming back to middle or neutral, arms hang by your side, soft tip, lean. Feel yourself get to the end. So it's like you're falling out of your chair, but you don't fall. And then you come back up from there. And then like you're falling asleep and falling out, but you're conscious the whole way. So you're finding, where's that edge? Where's that frontier where I can still maintain my middle, but it's like I'm falling over there. Let's do it again. 2 more each side. Gotta keep letting folks in here. Soft, easy, and everyone has a different edge, so don't try to force it to look like mine or anyone else's. Just kind of feel your way to what's the appropriate tipping, leaning. After you finish your next one to your left, which should be your second side, come back to the middle. Now we do our shoulders, because chest, shoulders, neck, this whole area above the sternum, you can think of it as one area that can be very bound up. So shrug and release. Shrug to the edge of the range of motion like a sponge squishing, and then release that sponge down, or release so the arms hang loose. One more. And release. Now, you just stay facing forward. I'm turning sideways so you can see forward, up, back, down. Forward, up, back, down. Now, there's a little movement of the torso. The rib cage comes a little forward and back, but mainly it's shoulder blades protract, elevate, retract, and slide down. And again, we go into detail with this more on the Friday class. So you might feel like I'm just being sort of cursory with this. That's because we work on it in the other class in detail. And now switch directions. So your first gesture is back and up, forward and down. Back and up, forward and down. Back, up, forward, down. Back, up. And when you do this one right, you can actually feel stiffness and barnacles and starch up in here, bringing out. And so then we feel lighter, looser, more at ease. A sort of emptiness up here is something they talk about in Qigong and Tai Chi. Lungs, heart are organs that should be light and empty, right? And the chest area should be loose and empty. All right, so now, fold at the elbows, bring the hands up, softly touching shoulders. Now elbows go out and possibly a little bit up. And then elbows come down all the way to the side of the body, around in front, and gently squeeze towards each other. Do that again. So they go down, so you're very relaxed here. And then from that relaxed place, we come up. And do this in a way that you feel like you're bringing out, you're carving, polishing, sort of cleaning out places, squeezing together, down to your side, out and up, down to your side, in and around. One more. Just cleaning out starch. Elbows pull back behind you, opening the front by closing and squeezing the muscles in the back, and then drop the elbows, point the elbows forward, the hands softly on the shoulders, elbows up, hands slide down your back a little bit, and then elbows forward and down and back, and then down and forward and up, and then forward and down and back, and down and forward, up, and let them come down and release. Now, legs. Make sure you feel stable in your chair. We're gonna tilt to the left butt cheek and lift the right knee up. Set that foot down, shift to the right butt cheek, lift the left knee up. So shifting and lifting. Now this next one, as you lift, push that foot straight out in front till your whole leg straightens. Then bend the knee and bring it back to this lifting position. Set it down, shift and lift, push, lift, down, lift, push, lift, down. One more, lift, push, back to lift, down. Now, right leg extends, hold it straight, point foot, flex foot, point, flex. So get the foot and ankle to be free rather than bound by the muscles. Now, a little in and out. It's called invert, evert, just this little subtle movement of the foot. And then circles, inward, outward. We're just checking all the gears and circles and body parts and connecting the brain to them. Switch, other leg, point and flex. These are brain commands. You just want to have them clean, clear. Invert, evert. Circles. Other direction, circles. And down. Scoot again. Make sure you're very much at the edge of your chair, all the way forward. Lift the ball of your left foot and turn on the heel so the knee and the toes point out. And then turn and point knee and toes in. So it's kind of pigeon toeing. Out and in. And what you really want to focus on here is the movement coming from the ball and socket joint. So the whole leg is affected by just moving from the appropriate joint. As opposed to, I could move my foot all by itself and nothing else happens. Or I'm moving the whole leg, external, internal. Right? Now, the next time the toe points out and knee points out, stay there with the toe. Now the heel goes out, the knee falls in, heel comes in, knee goes out, swivel, 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 swivel. So we're still moving from the hip, just with a different pivot point on the ground, which works the muscles in a slightly different way. Last one. Bring the heel in, keep the heel in, bring the toes in, and leave them at neutral. Other leg. Turning out, turning in. Out, in. Again, from the hip, out, in. Out, in. Once more out, leave the toe out. Heel goes out, knee comes in. Heel comes in, knee goes out. A few of these. So we're connecting the brain to this area, to the control, as well as bringing out the starch and tension and rigidity that often consolidates there in the hips. Next time your heel is in, leave it in, bring the toe in, and we're back. Forward folds. Now the legs don't move, but the pelvis, the hips tip over and we bow forward. And then sit upright. And then lean back from the hips so that hip crease angle opens up. And then sit upright. And then tip at the hips. Bowing. And then sitting upright. And then tipping back. And sitting upright. One more. The next time you're sitting upright, stay there. Standing up and sitting down. So I'm going to turn sideways so you guys can see. You just stay facing forward. Now, back your feet up so they're a little bit behind your knees. Rather than perfect 90 degree, back your feet up a little bit. Remember our hip hinge that we just did, arms loose, chest empty, right? So instead of trying to force myself to stand up, I very softly fold. Once my head is beyond my ankles, I can just kind of tip even more that way, butt off the chair, and then push through the earth and stand up very easily, very easily. Sitting down with the same technique, the butt goes back, the head and shoulders come forward. Notice the knees haven't bent yet at all. And then when I sink my butt, that's what causes knees to bend, and the butt lands, and then I'm sitting back to vertical. So with the least amount of effort possible, just fall, lean, a little effort there, and then just a nice push through the earth, which just makes the body fly up with ease. At no point do you need to grab on. Stay loose. Fold, sink, land, sit. 2 more. Just easy, easy, easy. Because we don't even know that we're doing it a lot of the times, but we're grabbing, we're holding on to the body, which which what ends up happening is that becomes an obstacle. We're creating our own obstacles. And with Parkinson's, that is something you can't afford. Other people can get away with that, moving incorrectly, right? Forcing things. But with Parkinson's, you try to force it and everything just starts creating that conflict. So we have to learn this ease, this feeling of easy movement. Now, from standing, keep your knees soft, right? So the way you find that is do the wrong thing. Lock your knees back, pushing back into the knees, and feel that it's kind of like stilts. Now you're standing on stilts. And then soften the knees, and notice how it allows you a little bit of buoyant up and down verticality there. It's not a harsh bend, but it's just a looseness. Do that one more time. Lock the knees back and feel how that creates a stiff stability, and then soften it and feel that freedom of movement there. So that's like this happy little middle space that's neither bent nor locked, and it's very mobile. Now, keeping that softness, tip a little bit forward into the fronts of your feet. So feel the fact that your feet have a front, a middle, and a back. So be in the front, then come back to the middle, and then be slightly in the back of the feet, in the heels, and feel what happens there. Find the middle and the front. Notice this all is being accomplished, or can be, without a single ounce of tension in your body. You can just be liquid, soft, and relaxed, and yet you're creating this forward tip and this middle and back tip. This helps us find our middle, right? Which is, they say, navel, belly button, in 2.5 inches to the very middle of your belly. So feel that place as your center around which everything is organized, right? Navel deep into the belly. The next time you're in your toes, stay in your toes and move over to the front of the right foot more. So we're in the front of the feet and then more towards this right foot. Stay in the front of the feet, come across over to the front of the left foot. So your heels are light and you're trading between double and then just the right foot. Back through middle, and again, notice, move from this middle. Arms soft, arms relaxed. And just find that middle. Last one over to the left. Come back to the middle of the middle. Come back to the middle of your feet and then go a little bit towards the heels. So just be a hair back more to the heels so you feel the front of the foot light. And then go more to your right heel from the middle. Go to the middle of the heels and then over to the left heel. Again, Not only doing the exercise, but doing it in a particular way with that release, that soft, almost like you're falling over to the left. And you're just falling over to the right. So this feeling of using effortlessness as a mode of transportation. Now, the next time you're over in the right heel, stay in the right heel and go from the right heel to the right toe. So come across and up the front and then go back to the right heel. So now just staying on the right side, let's go forward and back. And just notice it's all connected to the middle. All connected to the middle. Once more. Next time you're in the right toes, stay in the toes, come across to the left toes and go back and forth here. Back to the left heel, forward to the left heel. So even though we're doing something and we're talking about it in the foot, start to pay attention to the hips, to the back muscles, to the stomach muscles, to the head and neck. Notice how when you're changing your relationship, there's something changing through the whole body. Now, the next time you're in your left heel, stay in the heel and go across to the right heel. Stay on the right side, come forward to the right toes. Go across the toes to the left. So now we're doing a circle. Come back to the heel, around, forward to the toes, around, back to the heel, around, middle remains the same. Switch directions. Cross the heels to the left, forward to the toes on the left side, across, back. We're cultivating the middle by finding the edges, by finding the outer rim, outer orbit. Last time around, the next time you're in your heels, stay in the middle and then shift to the middle of the middle. And we're there. Now you're going to make your way over to your right side chair, hand on the chair. Shift your weight to your left leg and take your inside foot. So whenever I say inside foot, it's the one nearest our support chair. And have the heel touching the floor softly. I'm just going to tilt my screen down just a touch here. Okay. So now we've got our hand on our support, and that inside foot is out in front in this relationship. Notice it's not way out here. I'm not doing something crazy. It's just right in front. But it's empty, and there's an empty quality in this heel to the point where I can waggle this leg without my whole body moving. It means my hip is empty. Now, shift into that right leg and get to the tippy toes of your back foot. So now the left leg is supporting with that soft knee, and I'm on the tippy toes, and I can just gently waggle this foot and ankle and leg without anything crazy. That means it's empty, right? Shift back. Get to the tippy toe, or tippy heel rather, and then shift forward. Feel that emptiness. So we're discerning between changing one full, one empty, and then shift. Now this is full, this is empty. And shift back, full and empty change. Shift forward, full and empty change. The ball of your foot, sort of just in front of the arch, is called the bubbling spring. That's like the place where we feel our root connection to the earth. Shifting back, feel that root connection. Shifting forward, root connection. Now, level 2 of this exercise. Lift and lower. Notice that I just emptied this hip and lifted the leg straight. Shift into this leg. Now the back foot, when it's empty, just bend the knee and bring the heel up like a little flamingo, and then put the toe back where it was touching. Shift back. Empty this hip, straight leg lift and lower. Shift. Bend the knee, little flamingo lift, put it down. Shift back. Hip, and shift. Lift, lower, shift. Level 3, this is where you're definitely going to want to hand on a chair here. Lift that leg up. The knee comes up as high as you can bring it. And then set the heel back where it was touching. Let's do that twice more, just the lift of this leg. Lift and lower. Notice that even though this is the leg we're paying a lot of attention to, the standing leg is the one that's most important. If I have the right relationship with the full leg, then this is an afterthought because it's empty, it's loose, it's as free as an arm, right? It's only when I'm grabbing into that leg that when I pull it, it throws me off. So now let's change. Shift to the right leg. So now this is the full leg. Pay attention to this relationship, and then not only bring that heel up, but bring that knee forward and up as well. And then reach that back and touch the toes to the ground behind you without putting any body weight in it. So we stay here. Lift and reach back. Lift and reach back. Lift, reach back. Now, you've reached it back. Now it's time to shift. We don't even think about lifting this leg until it is actually empty. But once it's empty, it's time for lift, lower, touch the heel, and then shift. Now we've changed. This is full, this is empty, so it's easy to lift, reach back, shift. Now this is full, this is empty. Set it down empty, shift into it. Now this is empty. And back. A couple more. So you can get very good at this change. Then there's all kinds of freedom to step up on curbs, to step up stairs, to do complex Tai Chi exercises. But if you can't discern this, can't find this mechanism of full, empty, then none of that is really safe or possible. And back. Let's switch sides. So just take a little side step over to your other chair. Find that support. Empty the inside leg and put it in front, heel touching. Find that empty quality. Level 1. Shift. Get to the tippy toe. Shift back. Tippy heel. Shift. Toe. Shift. Heel. Check your teacup. A little espresso cup right on top of your head. It's filled to the very brim. So in order to keep that steady while we shift, that's where the relaxation is the only option. If we tighten everything up, eventually it's going to spill all over our head. But if we're truly relaxed, then everything's settled and supported. Let's go to level 2. Empty that hip, a little lift, lower, shift. Flamingo, lift, lower, shift back. Empty hip, leg lift and lower, shift forward. Flamingo, just bend the knee, put the toe down, shift. Empty hip, easy lift, and down, shift. And let's go to level 3. So you might really need your hand on something. Not only is it this hip lift, but it's the knee bend and it floats up. Let's do 3 of them. Just this lift. Boom and up. So again, it's easy to pay attention to the lifting portion, but equally important is this lowering it without any weight in it, without falling into it. One more. So then once it's down empty, it's free to then safely shift in. Now this back leg, not only heel to butt, but knee comes up. And also reaching the toe back without falling back towards it. Up. Reach back. Up. Reach back. One more. Now we flow. Shift back. Then it's lift, lower, shift. Check your espresso cup. Lift. Reach back, shift. Relaxed, empty chest and shoulders, arms hanging. Remember the metaphor of that sand. Down through, underneath us. The leg is as free as an arm. Down through the other leg, through us, beneath us. Leg as free as an arm. One more. And there's the thing about waiting. W-A-I-T. Waiting. Shifting and waiting long enough for you to actually go, oh yeah, there it is. Right? Don't jump the gun and try to pull it up right away. It's better to pause, wait, then do it right. Okay, and switch sides. Back. So essentially a very similar exercise, taking one step further. Empty inside leg, put the heel out in front. Level 1. Shift. Once the back foot is empty, you just swing it forward and touch the heel down, empty, and then shift forward to get to the tippy toe. Then we go back, shift back, wait for this front foot to be empty, swing it back, touch the toe, shift back. This is level 1. Shift, wait for it, swing an empty foot, shift. Shift back, wait for it, swing an empty foot, and then shift back. The tendency or the common state of things is people just clod hopping around. But this loose, free, light, empty quality that we cultivate in these slowed down exercises can eventually be put into when you're moving through the supermarket or wherever you're going. It's just you're using this effortless quality to move. Now, level 2. We lift and lower as before, shift. Now, this back foot, imagine a small obstacle on the floor. So you have to pick the foot up and step it over and put it down empty. Then you shift. Pause here. We do the flamingo lift up and down and then shift back. Now that same obstacle is there, so the leg has to come up in front, knee bends to tuck, reach the foot back over the obstacle, touch the toe, then shift back. Lift, lower, shift. Small obstacle, up and over, shift. Flamingo, down, shift. Small obstacle, up, tuck, reach, shift. Lift, lower, shift. How's your espresso cup? Your teacup. Release the shoulders, release the chest. Find that central line that I talked about in meditation. So essentially, it's just a meditation posture on these two legs. And we're letting one leg be our support, other leg be our support. Last one of level 2. Level 3, not only lift, but full lift. Down, shift. Now on this step over, we just exaggerate. We go heel to butt, knee all the way up, foot forward, lower that leg, shift. And then this, we bring this knee forward and up and then go back. Back, shift, up, tuck, reach, and shift. Lift, lower, shift. Full bicycle forward, shift. Up, back, shift. Reverse, back. Last one. Check your teacup, your softness, your central line, your bubbling springs, and your middle. So the more we attend to these ideas, these principles of movement, we can relax that tenseness in the body. Let's switch sides. Inside leg forward, level 1, where it's just shift. Once the back foot is empty, it swings, it stays empty, and then we shift into it. Now it's full. Shift back, swing an empty foot, shift back. So we cultivate the principles of middle and central axis and softness and empty full, right? And so now we're actually, we're changing how we're looking at and using our body from this meat and bone and structure to principles. Principles of movement, center, central line, empty full, softness, ease, liquid. Level 2, lift, lower, shift. Small obstacle, lift, step over. As low as you want to keep your foot, it's fine. It could be a very small obstacle. Lift, flamingo, put it down, shift. Small obstacle, a little up, tuck, reach, shift, lift, lower, shift, easy, loose, soft, finding center, relying on center, trusting that you have one. And the more you practice this type of stuff, and also on Friday's class, all that we do there, it's just getting the starch out so that we can actually operate from here. Everything else just simplifies, becomes easy. Level 3. So that's full lift, down, shift, wait long enough to change so this is full, then heel, knee, foot, down. Shift, wait long enough for this to be full, up, back, shift. Then it's up, knee, foot, reach back without any weight in it, touch the toe, shift, lift, lower, level 3. And eventually, the more soft you are, the more instantaneous that empty full change becomes. So it's just shoom. Now I'm free to go here, and then it's shoom. I'm free to go here. One more. Shoom. Now that's free to step. Shoom. This one's free. And the teacup is fine. Everything's fine, right? And step the feet hip distance, what we call shogun or closing gesture. Wings, palms turn up and over, settling. Settle your mind down towards the belly, just like a stone would settle through a pond and land in a lake bed. And just pause here for a moment. See if you can release tension in the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, anywhere else in the body. Feel your 2 support beam legs, these spring-loaded root connections. And then release the hands down. Now, let's all move to the right side of your space. So you'll have your chairs in front of you so that when we're doing our side steps this way, you'll be able to trade off chair to chair. I'm going to move them back for me so that I can show you guys very clearly what's going on. So we're over on this right side. Empty your left leg. So you're going through the right, empty left. Keep it empty as you step sideways. Notice that I'm not doing this. I'm not touching my toe and keeping my heel off the ground. I'm stepping the amount I can while getting the heel and the toe planted, but no body weight. And then bring it back in. So just get that move. The ability to keep yourself here and step this empty leg out and in. All right, so notice, are you doing this? I'm seeing some of you doing this. Look at the difference. You're letting your body weight go with the leg instead of step without the body weight going anywhere. Now, keep the foot out there, shift, and make this your full leg, and then this your full leg, and then this, and this. Check your teacup. Check your espresso cup. Check your softness. Notice it's just your middle using this leg, and it's your middle using this leg. Now stay over here. Bring the right foot in, out, in, out, in, out. No, we're just staying right here. And then finally, bring that right foot in. Now this is the really important one. Feet as close together as you can. And then change to the right leg. Feet stay very close together. Change to the left leg. Get it to the point where the other foot is empty, and then we change. So this practice here forces us to find this internal mechanism of change. And it emphasizes down rather than sideways when we're changing our legs. Down through to the earth. Down through to the earth. Through. How's the teacup? Through. Now, the next time left foot is empty, step it out. Empty. So we're going this way. Your left foot. Then shift to your left leg. So that's an obvious change. Now bring the right foot in very close and do that very subtle change, that internal change. Left foot steps out again. Shift and change. That's that obvious. And then this, we step in and it's this subtle. Step out. Shift. Step in. Shift. One more. Out. Shift. Now we're going to switch directions, come in, out, and we shift. That's that obvious. Bring this foot in, subtle. Change. Out. Shift. In. Shift. Out. Shift. Shift. Out. Shift. In. Shift. There and back again. Mantra in your head. Step without shifting. Shift without stepping. Step without shifting. Shift without stepping. Step without shifting. Shift without stepping. Again, the faster you go now means you're probably not cultivating the right principles. You're just going to go pop, plop, 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 plop all the way across. And though you can get there and back and maybe not fall today, if you are moving like this in general, let's go back the other way. This is when it's dangerous. Whereas here, we're very well established, and then we're establishing a landing zone, then we're making our way over. And this is key for Tai Chi movements, right? More complex Tai Chi that you may want to know someday in a different class or context. And we work on this stuff on Friday as well. All right, Shogun. So that's side steps, Shogun. Settle to the belly. And hands come down. Now stand in between your chairs. In between your chairs, so that you'll be able to use them on all sides of you, have them wide enough that you got some room. Empty your right leg, turn your right foot out. Shift into your right leg and turn yourself now, bring the left foot to match your right foot. Empty your right foot again. Turn your right foot 90 degrees or so out. Shift into that right leg, turn your body to match your right toes, and bring your left foot to match your right foot. Empty your right foot again. Turn it out without shifting into it. So the foot's turned out, but it's empty. Then we shift and turn and bring the left foot to match. Empty the right foot, turn the right foot out. Shift and turn and rotate and square. So we should be generally back to where we started, facing the camera. Do it again. Right foot turns out. Shift and turn and bring the left foot to match. Empty right foot and it turns out. shift and turn, match. Right foot turns out without any body weight in it, so that's key. And then shift. The number one mistake people keep making is they're going like this. They're going kerplunk, and that's just asking for trouble if your foot catches on the carpet or there's something on the ground, as opposed to it's empty, I turn it out. So if I bump into something, no problem. And then once I've set it up, I shift and move into it. Turn the foot out without any weight. Shift and turn. Let's go to the left. Now empty the left foot, turn it out with no body weight in it, and then shift and turn and square. Check your teacup as you do this. Left foot turns out. Shift and turn and square. Keep your arms relaxed down by your side rather than holding on to them. Loose. Turn your left foot out. Shift and turn, square. Left foot turn out. Go around again. Turn out. Shift and turn. Turn out. Shift and turn. So it's all the same principles of one full, one empty. Change which one's full and which one's empty. But now we're adding rotating, which is something the brain and pelvic floor and everything have to be able to manage. Now, slightly more complicated. Watch me, please. Empty right foot. Instead of turning it out, we turn it in. And then shift onto it and reorient slightly to the left. Again, right foot will pigeon toe. There's this pinched groin position, right? And I'll come up close so you can see it. So it's pinched in like this, right? So that when I go from neutral to this position, there's this pinching, and you'll feel it, and it's actually quite good for the lymph nodes here and for the joint when done correctly. So pigeon toe, and then we shift and square. Pigeon toe, shift, and reorient. So go around again with the right foot doing the internal rotation, and then the shift and reorient. Get that little pinched position, and then reorient. Pinched position, reorient. Pinch. After you've gone with right foot leading into that internal, now left foot, pinch and reorient, pigeon toe and reorient. Check your cup of tea. Chest, shoulders, arms relaxed. The sand, the starch going through you. So rather than holding and trying to get around that way, let go. And then work on rotation, rotation. Go around twice. So this is key. Again, these things can seem simple, but orienting, how you're oriented in your space is how you make a change. Like the phone rings over there, and I know for many of you and many people I work with, getting themselves aimed at the new direction is a problem with Parkinson's especially, right? And we're back to middle. Now let's put all that together. Please watch me do one. It's right foot out. It's shift and turn. All that's the same. But then with this left foot, we do the pigeon toe, the pinch. So that now you notice, if you were watching, that I am now facing 180 degrees away from where I was in just 2 foot movements. Right foot turns out. Shift onto that foot, turn the body, and keep turning and pigeon toe the left foot. And now I'm back to facing another 180 degrees. So around twice more. Right foot out. Shift and get yourself established on that right leg. Then pigeon toe. And then shift and turn. And shift. So in 4 foot movements, you can get back to facing where you're facing in general. If you're not getting all the way there, fine. Just be nice and safe. Check your teacup, your vertical alignment, your middle, your bubbling springs in your feet. All of this is being practiced with this exercise. You're cultivating principles of correct movement. Once you finish, let's go to the left 2 times. Turn the left foot out. Shift and turn. Continue slightly turning and pigeon toe so you're in that pinched position. And then shift and turn so you're facing 180 degrees, and then keep going. Left foot turns out. Shift, turn, pigeon toe. Shift, turn, turn. Shift, turn, pigeon toe. Shift, turn, turn. And middle. Shogun. Hands on the belly. 1, 2. So this stabilized position helps really keep an awareness of from navel through to the low back. Really feeling that whole line, that whole central line that goes front to back, right? Now, from here, so now we shift into the right leg, turn your left foot out 5, 10, maybe 15 degrees. Shift into left leg and step right foot in front of you. Excuse me. And notice that this foot on this plane is out to the side, so there's width. That means when you step the foot forward, if your leg came across like this, which is very common, take a second to put it back out here so that there's some width dimension as well as some front to back dimension, and your back foot is turned out. Now, shift 70% into your right leg. Keep your whole left foot on the ground. So now we're not letting this back heel lift. We're keeping that foot anchored. This is a Tai Chi, more Tai Chi stance, right? The knees are soft. The tail softly down. So we're not in it like this. There's this sunk. So your stance can be as small as it needs to be. It can be anywhere from here to here. And it has the same elements of width, length, back foot turned out. Now, 70% in the front leg, hands on the navel, shift back and sit 100% in your back leg. And then shift to 70, 70, 30 in general. Of course, we don't have a scale. We're not going to like try to be specifically perfect, but the idea is that you're not going all the way here. You're just going 70, and this is 30. And then we're coming back. And with the feet staying magnetically connected to the earth, we're having to buy real estate inside the hips, in between the joints, in between the layers of the tissue. Now we add a challenge to this. The next time you're forward in your right leg, stay there and turn the belly button to point slightly to the right corner. Now notice, did your left knee fall in like I'm mimicking here? Try to resist that. Open that leg out. So as you turn to the right, left knee opens out. Now stay turned that way, shift back into your left leg. When you turn the belly now to this other corner, don't let your front knee fall in like that. Keep it rolled open. Shift into your right leg, turn. Keep turning slightly to the corner. Keep your left knee opened out. Shift back into that left leg. As you turn, keep your right knee opened out. Shift and turn. And if this one is weird for you, especially if you're newer to the class, it's going to be weird, right? This is a sort of advanced ask, but a lot of these people have been here for a while. So we're adding this. But if you just want to watch it, see if you can get an idea of what I'm doing, right? So I'm changing leg, And then when I'm turning, I'm trying to open this quad, this hip, this groin area right here, rather than let it stay closed and the knee fall. And then I'm shifting, turning, same thing on this quad, opening that. And then shift back and soft turn. And it can be micro degrees of turn, right? It can just be shift and 1 degree turn. Shift back, 1 degree turn. So we're creating interior real estate. Next time you're back in this left leg, stay there. Bring the right foot back, toes turned out, and switch legs. Change over, step the left foot out. Remember the dimensions. Don't be lined up like this on a tightrope. Have a little width. It doesn't have to be much, but have some. Shift, turn. Keep slightly turned. Shift back, stay and turn, and then turn across the other side. Keep this hip open. Shift and turn, this hip open. Shift back, this hip open. This movement series here is the foundation of the push hands of Tai Chi. What they work on in terms of it being a martial art is this ability to exact force in this direction and also take force and neutralize it out. All from creating like a turnstile, right? Think of what a turnstile does. When you push through the turnstile, it just goes, right? Because it has a middle. So we're cultivating that kind of a middle. So that's how Tai Chi, they say, is the supreme martial art. Because if you actually achieve the level of a pivot point, turnstile in all directions, then you can't be hurt. And people end up hurting themselves trying to hurt people who are Tai Chi masters because they just fly off them and fly through them and that kind of thing. And coming back and together. Now, final couple of things. Get to where your hands are on your chair and you're standing like so. And bring this toe around, soft touch. Press the heel, release the heel, step parallel. Touch, heel, release, together. Shift. Press, release, together. Shift. Touch, press, release, together. Keep going. I'm going to turn. Those of you feeling somewhat balanced, you can come back to this hands on belly position and do it without support of your chair. Key bit here is when I press this heel, I stay in this leg, the front leg. So I press and I stay established here and then release and then I change. So I'm staying through this right leg, step behind, press the heel so you get a hip flexor stretch, quad stretch, calf stretch, and then release together. Change. Touch, press, release, together. Last challenge would be for those of you here, would be turn your head as you press the heel, just turn the head softly that way. And you'll feel it creates this extra twist up in the body. It's bringing out. And back to middle. Again, the head will turn softly to the left, as if just glancing over the shoulder. Back to middle. Let's do 2 more each. Middle. And middle. Now, have a chair that you can put a hand on. Outside leg, turn so the toes point out. Lift the leg in a turned out position. Bring the leg to a closed position and let it come down parallel, totally at ease, and then rotate it so it's turned out. Up. So notice I'm coming from outside to inside and then letting it hang down. I'm turning the leg out so the toes point out, and I'm lifting it in an outside position, and then closing it, and then letting it hang down. Turning it open, up, over, in, hanging. Let it completely go straight so that around the straight leg, we just turn out. Up, over, in, down to completely straighten at ease. So same leg. We didn't switch legs. I didn't switch legs. I'm doing the same leg. Same leg. Open, up, in, down. Now we switch directions with the same leg. Turn on the ball of the foot so the knee points in. Bring the leg across, open, down. Swivel on the ball of the foot so the leg is internally rotated. Bring it across, and then roll it open, down. So see how my hand that's on the chair is the opposite of the leg I'm using? So, James, looks like you're sort of blocking yourself there with your arm. You're like this, and then you're going to knee yourself in the arm. So make sure the hand that you're using is opposite of the leg that we're moving so that you have room. All right, so that you have room to bring it out and around. We'll just do 2 more of these. So again, some of these are weird until you understand them. Then once you understand them, they're totally achievable. That's correct, James. Very good. Turn in, bring it up, roll it open, set it down. 1 more. Turn in and go for a nice circle. Now we're going to switch sides. So again, chair, we walk to the other side. So now it's opposite hand of the leg so that we have all this room out in front. Turn the leg out, lift, close, down. It goes all the way to straight so that just easy open. Lift, roll it in. So the hand that's on the chair should be the opposite hand of the leg that you are using. So James, change your hands. Get to the other hand. But keep doing that same leg. Open, roll in. So it's open, up, roll in, close. That's correct, James. Good. Open. So remember, it's open. Down straight on the ground. Open, up, to the outside. You see how my leg is out this way? Nope. Other leg, but open. Close, down. Open it. Good. And then other direction, turn the toe in. So it's the same leg, just going in the opposite circle. Last one. Good. All righty. We'll finish. Have a seat in your chair. Rub groin and hip flexors. It's an area that can be very sore at this point or sort of stagnated. So groin, genital area, hip flexors, that whole region. Then go around to your tail and sacrum, lumbar and low back, right? And then sweep down the legs, around the feet, all the way up to the belly button. Do it again. Groin, hip flexors. See you, Greg. Good seeing you. And then down, around, and up. 1 more. Up the outer arm, down the inner arm a few times. Again, all this stuff we go over in detail in our Friday class as well. Other side. It just resets the flow of what the Taoists and Chinese medicine practitioners understand to be the flow of the body. And then we settle finally to the middle. Seal, 1, 2. And finish. So thank you so much, everybody. If you have any questions, comments, reflections, anything like that, stick around for a bit if you'd like. I know we're a little bit over today. Sorry about that. So you can just wave and say bye and leave as needed. All right, thank you. Unmute yourself if you have a question or a comment or whatever.